How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the ChiTownPod. Today, we are going to be talking about the Chicago Bulls, and
Sir,
we have a special guest
I'm
today.
back.
Frank
Let's
Koopmann.
go.
He's back on the pod. He's filling
Tommy
in
lost
for
his
Thomas.
tonsils, so I got the call, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in 1-day contract."
How you been, brother? How you been?
Been good. How about you?
I'm good. I hear you're starting college tomorrow.
That is, yeah. We are starting college. Gonna be
Big
playing
time.
baseball. It's gonna be lit.
You nervous? That's 15. Give me 15.
Not this again. Do they even know what? They don't even know. Tell them what you guys are doing.
They don't know. They don't know. So, Thomas and I have devised a plan to help improve Frank here a little bit. We want to make him sound more like an adult and not an 8th grader.
Unreal.
I mean, you do you, man. You gotta respect it. You asked for our help. We're trying to help.
I wore my Windy City Bulls pin tonight. It looks sick.
Hey, there you go, baby. There you go. You nervous for tomorrow? How many classes you got?
6? Good question.
6 classes.
I still got to check. I have no clue.
He has
I think all I know is Mondays and Wednesdays are 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and Fridays 8 to 1.
All right. Well, there you go. 8 to 2. That's like me. I'm 9 to 3. So actually, we're on the same. No. Just kidding. Other way around. Never mind. But
whatever.
Let's get to it here. And I just want to start off with the Ring of Honor debacle that happened at the United Center.
Oh, boy.
I mean,
there were a couple things other than this wrong with the Ring of Honor.
Oh, my God. It was just one of the worst ceremonies I've ever seen. You cannot like Jerry Krause.
No Pippen. No Jordan.
No Jordan either. I don't
even think
Horace
Grant either. Or I thought D-Rose should have been there.
Well, D-Rose is in the NBA still, so he can't be in it yet. I'm sure he will be.
If they
But I just want to say, you cannot like Jerry Krause for all the stupid shit that he did in the 90s and breaking the team up and having little man syndrome.
Well, most of that information came out in The Last Dance.
Exactly. It is so classless to go boo his wife.
If it was him there, I would have understood.
Not even. I mean, he's been dead for 6 years.
But he's dead.
Go and boo his wife.
I gotta take some shame to that, though. I was booing through the TV, but that's
I mean, that was just a complete debacle by the Bulls. Of course, Jerry Reinsdorf owned. So, what did you expect?
Unreal,
but still embarrassing. Respect to Stacey King for what he said. We're not Philly. We're not Boston. We're not New York. We're better than that. So
Stacey King's microphone better be up in the rafters one day. It better be a mic that says, "Give me the hot sauce" with Stacey King.
Give me the hot sauce. Imagine if we had Stacey King on the pod, or if we went on Stacey King's "Give Me the Hot Sauce" podcast.
Dude, I feel like you could get him. I don't know if you see his Twitter, but he is so active. He
responds to everybody.
Dude, I feel like 100% we could get him on here.
That would be so dope.
I'm gonna go post 100 tweets tagging him 100 different times.
Do it. I'm sure he'd probably respond.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the actual on the court product. Bulls lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers 109-91 last night.
That was a tough one.
They just dug themselves into a hole way too early.
Then they came back, got down by 3 at the end of the third quarter.
They took the lead. They took the lead with 10 minutes left, and then
they gave up.
I think they were just gassed from
having that comeback was
by, I think it was 21 points.
They used too much energy in the comeback to actually complete the comeback.
Exactly, yeah. So, but I mean, the problem is the Cavs went off on like a 10-0 run after the Bulls took the lead.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're like, all right, this probably chalk this one up. I will say what did surprise me was we had Drummond and Vooch on the floor at the same time, and it was working.
I love when they do that. I love it.
Billy Donovan is like his sole focus is to to go small, and
I
you
get
have
having both
an
of them
elite
on the floor at
rebounder.
this. Go.
You have two really good rebounders on the floor, and when they were on the floor, that's when they came back.
I like having them both on the floor. I see what he's trying to do with it, but you got to remember they get tired faster and for a longer period of time. So I feel that will only work is if you have a third center on the bench, and we don't have a third center,
which we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, all I have to say, I should have probably created a banner. I'll make a banner right now for it. There is a potential third center down at the Windy City Bulls, and his name is Adama Sanogo. National champion Adama Sanogo.
He is amazing. I've seen him play there while working. He's getting like 20 points a game. He's insane.
I was surprised he didn't get drafted out of college because he won the player of the tournament last year for March Madness.
And he's playing insane for the G League Bulls, the Windy City Bulls this year. I don't know if he'll get the call up though with this team, but I think he deserves to be on an NBA team for sure.
The only problem is the only way I could see him like getting that call up and it actually working is if they run the two big lineup with Drummond and Vooch on the floor.
Yeah, that's the only way it would work. Otherwise, he's just going to be another guy on the bench.
Because you want to develop him. Like in Windy City, he's playing almost the whole game.
I know. And with Drummond being a free agent after this year, if they don't go sign another center to go with Vooch, that could be his spot.
My only problem is he's kind of small.
He's not a big center, but he's strong. Like he goes up there and grabs it.
He's extremely strong, but he is only 6'9", which is crazy to think that he's that successful as a big.
With Wembanyama, guys like that around the league, he won't have much of a chance. Doesn't matter how strong you are.
The only thing with like a Wemby or a Chet, which I'm not comparing Adama Sanogo to either of those guys. Me saying I feel like he'd be able to back him down and bully him a little bit. He might sacrifice 3 to 6 inches, but
he
has a muscle and weight to be able to move someone.
Yeah, I mean,
total side note. Yeah, exactly. Total side note: the G League, the NBA needs to adopt this. I have a rule change. I love that the G League, when you get fouled, when it's a shooting foul, it's 1 free throw for 2 points.
Yeah.
The only thing I would change, holding on. All right, I'm just going to say it. The only thing I would change is if you foul a 3-point shooter, I'd make the first free throw worth 1 free throw for 2 points and then make you shoot a second free throw for the 3rd point.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty unique. And I don't know if you know this, but the G League game yesterday went into overtime, and they played a 7 unlimited timer.
Oh, it's just first team to score 7 points.
First team scores 7. So the Windy City Bulls go down 4-0, hit 2 threes, 6-4. Then we foul them on purpose so they can't win it with a 3. They make 1 free throw. Sanogo drives all the way down, gets fouled, doesn't make the layup, but then he makes a free throw and
wins the game. That's interesting. I feel like that would be good for the NBA. I like how the NBA kind of uses the G League, how the MLB uses the minor leagues to try and test these new rules out. Mm-hmm. Because I do think that, one, it'll help with load management, but I think these rules will be successful in the NBA because Wembanyama's a rookie, and the Bulls just played the Spurs and he's out for rest. Like, you're 20 years old, dude.
There's no reason he should be resting at all. And we almost lost that game, unfortunately, but we
did. We did almost lose that game. I was confused. I get it if you're if Derrick Rose is resting because of load management because the guy's blown out both his knees. I'd understand if LeBron was resting because he's almost 40.
LeBron's old.
Exactly. You're 20 years old, 21 years old, and you need a day off.
And that's a guy that not even Wembanyama, but last year, Luka Doncic only played 48 games.
I don't. Yeah, it's
Like,
becoming the
why?
serious
He's
problem in
24 years.
the
He's not even
NBA.
24. He's like 23 years old, and you're playing like half a season. Jordan played 80 plus games every season.
I mean, everybody did back then. Like, there was no
It's
such thing as load management.
crazy how many days these guys are taking off.
It really, it doesn't make any sense to me.
People were complaining in Milwaukee the other night because after the Warriors played the Bulls and went to Milwaukee, Steph and Clay got rested.
Yeah, I mean, look,
And they
what
lost.
Kobe said, the way Kobe said it was, you don't know if someone spent $100 to sit in the last row to watch me play. If I can play, I'm going to play. Like,
Exactly. But these players are
I think
taking
more
off.
players need to have that mentality.
Luka ain't got it.
Luka doesn't have it. Wemby clearly doesn't have it. Kawhi never has it. Kawhi
And
really
Curry
started load
is-
management.
Curry, I don't know, but yeah.
That's new because he normally never did that.
I know he took off versus the Bucks. The Bucks. I thought he for sure would have wanted to play against them.
I mean, exactly. I think it's really bad for the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you fix it. Like they tried to, where now teams get fined or whatever if you're considered a superstar or a star.
That does nothing because who's considered a superstar?
They don't care.
Who's
Well, I think the criteria was you had to have made an all-star team in the last like 3 or 4 years.
That's stupid though, because someone could make it 4 years ago and now he's washed.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways around it. Like with Zach, he has whatever soreness in his leg. Like there's ways around it. You put them on the injury report, and then, excuse me, they're not actually injured.
Yeah.
But I think the league is trying to. It's kind of they're kind of throwing it in the fans' face because now teams are just lying instead of
about it injury day to day.
Exactly. Instead of using the word load management.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. But that's my little rant on the G League rules and why I think load management's dumb.
I did just see something. Ex-Bulls' son just got signed by the Memphis Grizzlies to a 2-way contract. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Scottie Pippen Jr. Where
he's going to Memphis on a 2-way, so he's in the NBA, but he's also in the G League. Unfortunate for me because I work for the G League Bulls, and Memphis has already came here, so I don't get to see him now.
Tough.
But
I
he
did
is
not
on
realize
Memphis.
that he went to Sierra Canyon. Vanderbilt Commodore.
I knew about him, and then I knew he spent time with the Lakers. Then they DFA'd him, and now he just signed with Memphis.
Interesting. Averaged almost 20 a game his sophomore and junior year, so that's interesting. Yeah. Well, good for Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah.
But now let's move on here. All right, we were talking about this question yesterday when we were playing Xbox, and then we had to stop ourselves because we're recording either today or today being Tuesday or tomorrow Wednesday. Do we think? I think we have different answers for this, but do we think Kobe White is a number one option on a contending team?
Okay, on a contending team as in the Bulls right now or any team?
No. All right. So first of all, I don't think the Bulls are a contending team. They're a 9 seed. I'm talking about your Celtics, your Bucks, your 76ers, your Timberwolves, Thunder, your top teams in the league.
I wouldn't say any of those three, but I would say like a Miami Heat, maybe Cleveland, maybe.
Sure,
because Donovan Mitchell and Garland.
Well, I'd say Donovan Mitchell is in that superstar tier.
I know, but Mitchell and Garland for the Cavs are always hurt. They haven't played a game together this season.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but I don't think you can win an NBA championship with Kobe White being the best player on your team.
No, the only way the Bulls with Kobe White right now, Kobe White might be our number one option. He might. I don't think we have a number one option.
Well, I
The
think DeMar
Bulls'
thinks
only
he's the
way
number one
of
option.
winning it is everyone accepting that there is no number one option, and they all have to work together for the group to be the number one option.
I mean, I guess, but when is the last time that's worked?
I was going to say like 2010, 2011, 2012, Derrick Rose era, then like 2016, and then 2017 when we had like D-Wade, Rondo.
I'm talking about teams that won the championship. Like the farthest any of those teams have gotten was the Eastern Conference Final, right?
Maybe no, because I was going to say Dallas back in the day when they had Dirk Nowitzki, but
I was the MVP number one option. Like even like the D Rose teams, D Rose was an MVP.
Yeah, and the only reason I still consider 2010 the Bulls championship banner because we probably would have won it if Rose never got hurt.
What was that? 2012 NBA playoffs?
When he tore the ACL the first time versus the 76ers. I think that was the year the Bulls would have won a championship. Number 7.
I do agree with you. I don't think that.
I mean, if you got through the 76ers, all that was left was really LeBron on the Heat. And if you beat them, then
you would have had to play that Boston team.
The Rondo team?
Yeah, the Ray
But
Allen.
I'm not worried about that.
Kevin Garnett. Boston.
But that was on the downside of that Boston team's range.
They still took that Heat team to 7.
I don't know.
I do agree. If Derrick Rose never gets injured, I think the Bulls probably have 2 more championships.
He was special.
And
I still want him to return to Chicago and win one. That would be sick.
I mean, I don't think he'll win one here, but I would love for him to return to Chicago. The one year I think they actually really would have won the championship was 2015. If LeBron gets, or it was David Blatt gets called for the technical, calling timeout in Game 4.
I thought you were going to say the Rondo Wade era.
No, that team would have beaten the Celtics in the first round.
We were up 3-1. That would have been the biggest upset ever. And I'm telling you, who knows what happens after that. That would have gained so much momentum.
Man,
Rondo never gets hurt. We win that series.
But back to our number one option discussion. Like, I'm just gonna list off the last since 2010, right? Denver Nuggets, Joker, Warriors, Steph, Bucks, Giannis, Lakers, LeBron, Raptors, Kawhi, Warriors, Steph, Cavaliers, LeBron, Warriors, Steph,
KD and Curry.
Yeah. I forgot 2017, 2018, KD. The one I'll give you is the Spurs, but they still had Tim Duncan,
Tony Parker, Tim Duncan,
Parker,
Manu Ginobili.
I mean,
and they had Kawhi on that team.
Yeah. These are superstars. And then you had the Heat, LeBron, and then it's the Mavs, and then the Lakers to wrap it up in 2009. What do all of those teams have in common? They had one top 5, at least one.
I know.
Top 5 player.
This question is, Kobe White is not a number 1 right now. Will he be in the future? I don't know. Depends which direction this Bulls team goes. But for now, he is not.
I mean, I love Kobe White. I loved him when we drafted
I love him too.
But he's already 23. Like, how much more development?
That's not that old. That's younger than Luka.
I mean, I get it, but Luka's already an MVP candidate, right?
Hey, some guys take longer to develop than other guys.
I understand, but Kobe White right now is playing the best he's ever played in his career. He's averaging 18.5 points, 4 rebounds, almost 5 assists, 45% from the field, 40% from 3.
I guess we got to see where this team goes in the next 2 years because obviously we know Lonzo's out all this year, but he's coming back next year. That's the positive right now for Bulls fans that we've been given is he's going to play next year. Is that true or not? I don't know. Billy Donovan said it was. So I'm just going with what Billy's going with, saying Lonzo's going to play next year.
I mean, I don't think you can think of Lonzo as being this ultimate savior.
I know.
You can point to 2 years ago. What was it? 2 years ago now.
2021, right? We went 28-11, number 1 seed in the East with Lonzo Ball.
That's before Zach LaVine started having these nagging injuries. DeMar's 2 years older. Vooch is 2 years older, right? Like, there's so many variables that need to be answered. Lonzo coming back doesn't automatically fix the Bulls, right?
That group worked
it probably
yes,
helps.
that group, it will help. That group worked in 2021. The question will be, will it work in the 2024-2025 season?
You don't even know if DeMar's going to be here, though, next year, right?
They would have to. That's another thing. They would have to re-sign DeMar. And I heard on contract extensions, DeMar doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to see which direction this team goes this season, is what he said.
I mean, I'm fine with that. We'll talk about what to do with LaVine and DeMar in a second, but
all right.
Speaking of that, I mean, I know your opinion on this, but should the Bulls tank or should the Bulls go for it?
No, based off how I was originally tanked when we were horrible, but when LaVine got injured and we started playing good, and now he came back, Vooch came back, and they're fitting in now. I think the Bulls should go for it. I think we're a 9 seed. I think we can get up to a 6 seed. Probably is the best shot we'll get. 6, 5, maybe. But
I don't see 5.
Who knows? This team can be.
We've
seen this team beat the Sixers. We've seen this team beat the Bucks this year. They're sneaky. So,
we've also seen this team lose to the Pistons.
Fair, right. But it really depends which Bulls show up which night. It's like if we show up like we did versus the Cavs, we're horrible. If we show up how we did versus the Sixers, we're goated. So I don't know. I would say wait for the All-Star break and then ask this question again and see what our record is.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm full tank mode. You're still 4 games under 500.
But that's a lot less than what we were. We were 5-13.
I know, but I'm saying like you still have to make up so much ground. You're 5 games back of the 6th seed.
That's not much.
I know, but you have to think about it. You have to leapfrog the Magic, the Knicks, and the Pacers, right?
Okay, so I think
mathematically you're 5 games. Leapfrogging 3 teams, you're looking closer to 8, right?
Mm-hmm. I think we'll for sure make a play in this year, though.
I mean,
those teams below us aren't that good.
The Nets, Hawks, Raptors.
Hawks are going to blow it up.
Really, it's the Nets and Hawks are the only ones who are like competing.
But the Hawks, I heard, might blow it up with Trae Young and Murray because it's not working.
I did hear they want 2 first-round picks for DeJounte, and there was another report that Trae Young wants to go play with Wemby. I don't know.
Now, that's another thing. If the Bulls go for it, why not go get a Trae Young or DeJounte Murray?
Because, all right, well, hold on. I was gonna save this for later, but now that you asked that, this is perfect. What do the Bulls have to offer in a trade like that?
Okay, that's a good point. Let me talk about the draft picks. We have no picks in 2024. We have 1 second-round pick in 2025.
No, we have our first this year. We have a first-round pick this year.
We do?
We have a first-round pick this year, and then next year we still have ours technically, but I think it's either top 10 or lottery protected for the DeMar.
Next year I know goes to the Spurs for DeMar.
Yeah.
This year, I thought they both went to the Pelicans for Lonzo.
I'm
not sure.
Hold on. Here we go. They have their own first-round pick this year, along with Portland's lottery-protected pick, which who cares? They don't have their first-round pick next year. I don't know if that's lottery-protected or not.
So that's then where I get to this. If the Bulls somehow get above 500 or start getting on a roll, start winning a lot of games in a row, and we're hot, like All-Star break-ish, and we're moving up in the standings, I say go for it. Go get a DeJounte Murray or Trae Young.
Neither of those help you, though, right? Really?
How do they not help you, though? They're all.
But how do they fit in the team? You want to play 5 guards? Just because they're an all-star, they need a 4.
You can move Pat Will to the bench.
He's already been on the bench. And even
we've been
then, you're
winning with
playing
Levine.
small.
Levine could go to the bench.
Let's say you trade for DeJounte Murray, right? Because he's the one that's for sure on the trade block. You have a starting
Trae Young,
lineup
I'm
then
not sure about.
of Kobe White, Zach LaVine, or DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. The defensive rating, first of all, would be absolutely horrendous.
Well,
And then
see,
not
our
only that,
defense is
you
coming
have
from our
three
bench.
guards. I mean, sure, but you're
you would
not
have
going
to
to
talk
stick
to
in.
Murray or Levine would have to accept coming off the bench.
But then, look, you're not trading 2 first-round picks, probably plus a prospect like a Dalen Terry for a guy to come off the bench, though, right? You're not paying Levine a
If
max
you're going to
contract
get
to
him,
come
you're
off the
putting him in
bench.
the lineup and you're trying to win a championship.
Even then, I don't think that wins a championship. Like, you have to remember that lineup has 3 guards, and DeMar is a small forward.
Shooting guard. Yeah, whatever.
Technically, yeah. There's no, I mean, and Vooch, you'd have to have an elite, like a Rudy Gobert level rim protector.
Yeah.
For that to even remotely work.
Our best rim protector is Alex Caruso.
As a point guard.
Exactly.
That's not good.
I know. The Bulls don't have much to offer in trade right now unless you're going to get rid of more picks, but we've done that for so many years. We need to get some young guys in the G League system and develop them.
They have their first this year. The first next year is top 10 protected, and then after that they have their picks.
Everything in the future.
Look, if they were to even make a trade like that, it'd have to be like the 2029 and like 2027 pick, and that'd just be stupid. You're mortgaging your future.
I know.
For a team that's probably going to finish at the highest 5th in the East and maybe win a playoff series.
Yeah, I don't think the Bulls should really make a trade then. With that sense, I think you should just ride it out this year, and then over the summer, you can go one or two ways. You can sign DeMar back with the guarantee that Lonzo's going to play and try to ride it out one last time, and if they're horrible next season, you blow it up at the deadline. Or you blow it up over the summer. And Lonzo says he's not playing, you blow it up over the summer.
I think that this will never happen. I think they should blow it up right now. Like,
I would base it off Lonzo's playing decision for next year.
Like I said, though, you can't expect Lonzo to come back. Lonzo is 26 years old now, right?
That's not that
He has not played in an NBA basketball game since he was 22.
I know, but you got to just pray for the best for him, man. He was easily a top 3 point guard in the league when he was playing.
You can't expect a guy like Lonzo Ball, after that many surgeries and that serious of an injury, to come back and be that 15 point, 10 assists, almost 50% from 3, 8 rebound kind of guy.
True.
Like, it's just unrealistic.
True. The only thing this Bulls team has that I like is, when fully healthy, is the defense with Caruso and Torrey Craig.
I will agree with that. I mean,
the defense has been up this year.
Defensive rating.
Well, can you check it with Torrey Craig?
I'm just gonna go overall team.
Craig brought it up a lot, and one thing with Torrey Craig is he got offensive boards.
So they're middle of the pack, towards the bottom middle of the pack. They're 19.
Well, they've probably dropped since losing Craig.
Yeah, no, he was a large part of their defense. I don't know. I mean, our next 2 segments are, what do they do with Zach LaVine and what do they do with DeMar? Who do you want to start with?
Start with Zach.
Start with Zach? All right. What do you think the Chicago Bulls should do with Zach LaVine?
Well, after reading the news earlier, the Lakers have officially declared that they don't want him. So
doesn't surprise me. There's no trade.
That means the Bulls have tried trading him to Cleveland for Darius Garland. They just tried trading him to the Lakers. No one wants him. That contract is insane, because the Bulls already came out and said they're willing to trade LaVine, but they don't want to pay any of the contract. No team's going to take him then, because no one wants to pay it. It's 5 years, what, $225 million?
It's a max contract.
Yeah, but the Bulls said they're not going to help pay any of it if they trade him to a team. So no team's interested in him.
I think you have to you have to try and trade him.
I know you like
Uh,
trading him for either picks or another superstar is probably the best move, but I don't
I
think
think you trade him for picks.
I don't think anyone wants to bite that contract. So I have a feeling, like what Casey Johnson said, I heard him say it too. I think the Bulls are going to get stuck with LaVine for that whole contract, and they're never going to be able to trade him.
I do too. I think they had to do it just because the fan base was going crazy after they had that good year in 2021.
Mhm.
The biggest mistake they've made, probably since the Vooch trade, is signing LaVine to that extension.
No
Just
one's gonna, I
having
think we'll have him in 2026. I don't think anyone's taking him anytime soon,
I don't think so either.
especially his play
According to
style. He's
Shams,
shoot, shoot, shoot.
the Raptors and Pacers are in active talks on a trade centered around two-time All-Star Pascal Siakam for a package that includes 3 first-round picks.
That's a guy I wanted the Bulls to get with Siakam over
Not
last
for 3
offseason.
picks? Dude, I know the NBA is weird with trading picks. I don't think it's possible for
For
them to
what?
trade 3 picks because I think there's a rule that you have to have a first-round pick after every, I think, 2 years.
Yeah. That's why, like in the
So
Dame trade for the Bucks, they gave up a 27 first round pick and a 29.
yeah. I think it'd be stupid to try and add. If you're gonna add it, I don't even know what you give up because you don't have second rounders really either.
Yeah.
You have no second rounder this year. You have no second rounder next year. You have no second rounder in 2027.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to trade for Siakam, you have this would be the stupidest move ever, but you have Julian Phillips. That is your main rookie that you have that is looking promising that you could trade. But I wouldn't trade him.
Sure.
Had the highest vertical in the NBA combine. He's super athletic. He's insane in the G League. He's going to be a star. Him and Dalen are going to run this team one day. I guarantee it.
Look, I love Dalen Terry because he's an Arizona Wildcat. I like the Julian Phillips. I think at best they're the 7th and 8th guys off the bench. I hope they prove me wrong, but the highest vertical doesn't translate to being a good NBA player, right? You still have to be able to shoot.
He's proven to be a good G League player, though.
Well, I don't really care about the G League.
Well, yeah, right? But it's
look how many guys are awesome in the G League. Like, remember Javon Freeman Liberty? That guy was averaging 35 points a game in the G League. I haven't heard his name since.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
I'm just saying, like, just because you do well in the G League, the competition level is insane. Look at Sanogo. Guy's been dominating the last month and a half in the G League. Barely gets any run in the bigs, right? Yep. It's just, it isn't the same. Now, what do you think they should do with DeMar?
Free agent coming up. I love DeMar. Would love to have him back for the right price. I don't want to overpay him like LaVine. He's going to be what, 36?
I think so.
How old?
Looking up. He's 34 right now. He'll be 35 at the beginning of next year. I say cut bait. I like DeMar's great. Thank you for your fake MVP year where you were nuts for the first half of that year.
Maybe 3 years. Maybe 3 years, 45. No. That would be the max I would do for him.
He's not going to take 3 years, $15 million a year, though, right?
But that's about like what he's worth.
I know, but that's not what he's going to take. You know what he's going to say in his contract talk? He's going to be like, I've averaged 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists this year.
And doesn't play defense.
Well, sure, but he doesn't care about that. Last year he averaged 24 points. The year before that, he averaged 28 points.
The only thing that could give him more money is this year. This year, he did develop the 3-point shot.
Yeah, he's been better at it. He's still shooting
A lot of mid-range.
He's 35%.
I don't
it's not
know.
like it's
I would love
crazy.
for him to stay in Chicago for the right price, but if he wants more than 45 or 50 mil, I wouldn't give it to him.
I think you trade him, especially when he's come out and said, "Hey, I want to see the direction of the team." Like,
yeah, because they
DeMar,
said
you
that
know
back
better
in
than
November.
anyone the team isn't gonna go anywhere, right?
Yeah, because the Bulls tried extending him in November, and he said he wants to see how this team plays out this year before he signs anything.
I think it'd be very, very dumb to extend DeMar DeRozan, and I love watching DeMar DeRozan play. This year, not so much because he's ISO ball, ISO, me.
This year, I'm having more fun watching Kobe White, Io, Caruso.
Yeah, I mean the games that they've won handled by a lot, and the times they've beaten the upper tier teams is when they've spread the ball around.
I notice it's when Levine usually doesn't play.
I mean, sure, you could blame it on Zach, but you could
I'm
also
not blaming it on Zach,
DeMar.
but it's just weird that we won a lot without
I'll blame it on Zach. I'll blame it on both of them. They're too ball dominant. You can't.
If we had only one of them, we might actually be better. Speaking of ball dominant, I'm calling this guy out right now because I get pissed every time he shoots on TV. Javon Carter can literally, oh my God.
Javon Carter has that MPJ mentality. That rock is not being swung.
Dude, the Bulls said they were between Javon Carter and Patrick Beverley last offseason. What were we thinking?
3-point shooting. That's literally, I guarantee you that's what it was. Because they are such
Beverley
a bad
and Caruso would be
team.
the best defense. You would have had on defense Beverley, Caruso, Craig. Like, that would have been insane.
I don't know what you want me to say. It's Javon Carter shoots better from 3.
God, the Bulls owner can take the White Sox and move to Nashville and never come back.
Javon Carter averages almost 40% from 3.
I don't care. How many times does he shoot it a game?
Hold on a second.
And he's not a Beverley on defense. Beverley can shoot the 3 as well.
Pat Bev averages 30% for 3 this year.
So we're talking about a 10% difference in defense.
You
see, it's not that big a difference. Yeah. It's not that big a difference.
Carter shoots almost 6 times a game.
That's too much for him.
I mean, sure. But at the same time, like,
he's making
who do you want to give those shots to? You want to give those shots to double team DeMar?
I'd rather give him to double team DeMar, honestly, because DeMar can draw a damn foul.
Sure. Or you want to give him the Denzel Levine? Like, some of the shots Levine takes, it's like
Denzel Levine.
Yeah, Denzel Valentine. That's who Zach Levine reminds me of.
Denzel
Valentine. Some of the shots that he takes.
Dude, Valentine versus the Miami Heat pulling up from the logo.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That was hilarious. I was watching that game and I just was like, yeah, your career's over, buddy.
Freaking Bulls.
They need a new owner.
I mean, I think, all right, I'm a Cubs fan, obviously. I think it'd be stupid for the White Sox to move. But if the White Sox moving means Jerry Krause is selling the team, leave.
Yeah, because he had a meeting with the governor of Tennessee in Nashville. So there is a chance they do move and get a new ballpark in Nashville because Chicago's not – because they want to move more into the city in Chicago, and there's really not a spot for it.
The only thing is if the Bears move.
But you can't move Soldier Field because it's a national landmark.
I know. Yeah. You'd have to repurpose it almost. That'd be the only thing. Yeah, I don't know.
They won't do that.
They screwed up 20 years ago when they built the cell.
I know, because they want a new ballpark with a dome. Unless they move to Arlington by the Bears.
I can't see that.
But I think the Bears want to have their own casino, their own hotel, and all their own bars over there and have their Bears land.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But like I said, I'm all for Reinsdorf moving the White Sox if it means he sells the Bulls.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think
it would
going to
help
happen.
the Bulls.
It would.
Because he just won't go pull the trigger on a big free agent.
Well, not even that. He just retreads everybody.
And he's like one of the only owners that won't go over a luxury cap.
Won't go in the luxury tax either. So
I know. Most teams do it. And that's why they win.
Frank, I've been saying this the last 10 years, man. Not 10
Make
years,
me the
years.
owner. God.
Oh, okay. All right, let's close the podcast up. Let's talk about the road ahead for the Chicago Bulls. Let's look at their schedule.
I know they have some like easier ones coming up.
So Thomas and I like to do for the Bulls. We've only done it a couple times, but we like to do the next 5 games. What do we think the record's going to be? I'll listen to you. Bulls at the Raptors on Thursday.
I'm going to say we get that win.
All right, 1 win for Frank. Bulls hosting the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday.
Win.
Bulls traveling to Arizona and Phoenix next Monday.
Loss, but if KD or Booker takes off, win. So I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay. Then they go to the Lakers.
Win.
And then they're at the Trailblazers.
Win. And if we go 4-1, we will be 1 game above 500. Or no, we'll be even.
I don't think so.
4-1,
19 and 23. You'd be 1 game under 500.
Yeah, I think that 4-1 is doable, though.
I mean, it's doable, sure. They could easily go 5-0. I think they'll beat the Raptors, lose to the Grizzlies, lose to the Suns. Or I'm sorry, beat the Raptors, beat the Grizzlies, lose to the Suns and Lakers, and then beat the Trailblazers. I got 3-2.
Now, if the Suns rest Booker and KD, and then Beal never plays, like those 3 are always injured. If those guys aren't playing, we'll beat the Suns.
The only thing is the Suns are at home, right? Like, if it was in Chicago, I would agree with you that they might be rested, but you don't rest your guys when you're at home.
Yeah.
I don't think that Suns game's going to be close.
We should beat the Grizzlies with no Ja. Rose is still hurt, but I would love for Rose to come back. If I get any news that he gets activated off the IL, I am buying tickets to that Grizzlies game, and I am going.
Let's look.
That would be sick because you know he's going to get MVP chance right when he comes in the game. Goes to the free throw line. MVP. Like, dude, I would love to see Rose. But I don't know if he's going to be activated anytime soon.
They listed him week to week on January 3rd. So,
week to week on January. There's a chance. I have him in fantasy. Let me check.
There is a slight chance.
I have him in fantasy basketball. Let's see if there's an update on him. Rose exited Tuesday's matchup against the Spurs. Oh, that's 13 days ago.
Yeah.
I gotta assume, though, knowing Rose, he's trying to get back for that game.
I'm sure
he wants.
If he's in for like one possession,
he wants to. I'm sure he wants to play in front of the Chicago crowd.
Of course. So you have him at 4-1. I have him at 3-2.
I don't think the Lakers are good. LeBron's old.
Someone listening or in the YouTube, and if you're watching on YouTube at 44 minutes, that's when we posted our record predictions for the Bulls. And then next Wednesday, we're recording this a day early, but it'll be out tonight, Tuesday, January 16th. It's supposed to be out Wednesday, January 17th, but Frank has school, and I forgot there's the Arizona basketball game tomorrow where I will be attending. So that's why I couldn't record tomorrow.
Yeah.
But 3-2 for me, 4-1 for Frank.
4-1. LeBron's old. Bet LeBron's under.
Bet LeBron's under. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up here. Frank,
right.
Thank you for coming on.
Hey, no problem.
Hopefully Thomas is back and ready. And
we'll see.
If he's not, you guys might get Frank again. But you're stuck with me.
Leave a like for Frank Star.
Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'll most likely see you on Friday. We'll be talking Cubs and Blackhawks. And then
the Cubs
who knows? Maybe the Bears have an OC. Yeah, maybe Bellinger is back on the Cubs. They finally did something with Imanaga. But have a good one, everybody.
Peace out.